I was in 10th grade and I lost my father to cancer. I watched that hideous disease and what it could do, not just to my father, but to the entire family. And as a young man, it made an impression. But I have to say, as a parent, when I lost my first son to crib death, to SIDS, that probably was the biggest wake-up call about how important the research aspect is. It's not an abstract. We're talking about real lives, real people, real tragedies, and real opportunity to avoid future tragedies. I'm a fiscal conservative. I very strongly believe that federal government needs to limit its spending extensively. But the federal government needs to focus on those constitutional obligations that only the federal government can do. Issues that cities, counties, states can't do. The federal government needs to step up. And NIH funding, health research, that basic research, that is a federal program, a federal responsibility that only the federal government can bear that. So as we look at these issues, I think we need to make priority decisions. But we've got to recognize that the traditional involvement of the federal government in general research is essential for the general welfare as quoted in the Constitution. This is not a special interest issue. This is not a backdoor deal. This is upfront and exactly the kind of thing the federal government not only can but should be involved with. There are many other things that we're involved with at the federal level that locals and states and other people could do. This is one that the federal government doesn't have the right to be able to walk away from. We need to work together. Democrats and Republicans, independents work as Americans, looking at what is a sustained level of commitment that the federal government can make. So research can know that there is this long-term involvement of the federal government in this section, which then creates an environment that allows the private investors and the private researchers to know what long-term commitments they need to make. And that consistency, that responsible approach to funding is absolutely essential. The fact is, we've seen miracles in our own lifetime. I worry that we take our miracles for granted. I mean, who would have thought as a child of the 60s that our daughters could get a vaccine to avoid cervical cancer? What a breakthrough. This is something we dreamed about for decades. There's a lot of hard work, a lot of long-term investment, and a lot of good science that makes these miracles possible. And that means if we want to see them in the future, not only for ourselves, but our future generations, we've got to be willing to prepare the ground and plant the seeds for those miracles of the future by doing the research today.